Gemini, what felt like a loss becomes the moment the real path finally comes into focus. Something recently didn't go the way you expected. Maybe it was creative. Maybe it was personal. Either way, it stung. And you've been sitting with it, replaying it, wondering if the energy you gave was wasted. It wasn't. April is going to prove that to you. But only if you stop mourning the version of events you've wanted and start paying attention to the version that's actually forming. 3 cards, the trap, the interface, and the key. So let's go. So the trap. That was the 5 of Cups. This is the card of grief over something that isn't fully gone. You're staring at the 3 cups that spilled, the project that fell flat, the connection that cooled, the moment that didn't land, and you've convinced yourself it's a failure. But look at the card. There are still 2 cups standing behind you. You haven't lost everything. You've lost a version of what you wanted. And here's the trap. April opens in full Aries season. Aries energy is fire, initiation, bold moves, fresh starts. Everyone around you is charging forward, and you're stuck at the river staring at spilled wine. The trap isn't the disappointment itself. The trap is letting that disappointment freeze you during a season that is literally built for movement. Aries energy doesn't wait. It doesn't process. It acts. And if you're still grieving while the window is open, you miss it. 5 of Cups says, I'm not ready yet. April says, you don't have the luxury of yet. That tension, that's the trap. Grief disguised as patience. Wallowing dressed up as reflection. So let's go to the interface. And that's Temperance. This is the shift. And it doesn't happen all at once. It happens through a slow, deliberate rebalancing that you can feel mid-month. Temperance is the angel with 1 foot in land and 1 foot in the water, pouring between 2 cups without spilling a drop. After the chaos of the 5 of Cups, after the mess on the ground, this card says, what if nothing was actually wasted? What if what you felt as failure? Temperance reframes it as recalibration. The setback wasn't the end of the story. It was a course correction. And the timing here matters. Around April 19th, the sun moves into Taurus, and the energy shifts from Aries fire into something grounded, something stable. The growth season settles in, and Temperance is the bridge between those 2 energies, the impulse fire of early April and the patient earth of late April. You stop swinging between, I need to act now, and I can't move at all. Temperance doesn't pick a side. It blends, it integrates. For Gemini especially, a sign that lives in duality, that always has 2 voices running. Temperance is medicine. It doesn't silence either voice. It teaches them to harmonize. You start to see the disappointment differently, not as loss, as information, as redirection, as the exact experience you needed to strip away what was never going to work, so you could finally see what will. And that brings us to the key, and that is the star. And the outfit is, thank you, YouTube. So the star, and there it is. After the spilled cups, after the slow rebalancing, the star appears. And it is one of the most hopeful cards in the entire deck. But don't mistake it for wishful thinking. The star isn't everything will magically be fine. The star is clarity after crisis. It's what you see when the fog lifts and the storm passes and you're still standing. The star reconnects you to the bigger vision, not the old one, not the thing you were grieving in the 5 of Cups. Something larger. Something that feels both inspiring and achievable. That distinction matters. The star doesn't give you a fantasy, it gives you a direction. And here's what makes this card so powerful in April. We're in growth season. The new moon this month is prime territory for setting intentions. Real ones, not affirmations, not wishes, but structural intentions built on what you've actually learned. The star says, you've been through the loss. You've done the rebalancing. Now, what do you actually want to build? For Gemini, This is the moment the scattered energy focuses. You stop bouncing between ideas. You stop second guessing. The star gives you one clear signal. And for once, both sides of your mind agree on it. That's rare for you. Pay attention when it happens. So here's April, Gemini. The Five of Cups tries to keep you in the past, mourning a version of events that was never the final draft. Temperance stepped in, taught you that nothing was wasted, that it's all being mixed into something you couldn't see yet. And the star reveals the vision, clear, grounded, and waiting for you to commit. The loss was the setup, the balance was the process, and the star was always the destination. Stop looking at spilled cups. Turn around. So, if this reading gave you something to work with, subscribe. Every month, I break down what each sign is facing through the trap, the interface, and the key system. Hit the bell so you won't miss yours.